Hey y'all, Michael with CoronavirusDiaries, and what you see back here is a massive protest. So really quick, I got to interject on this video. The protest video was recorded yesterday. It was Tuesday, May 26, 2020 in uptown Minneapolis, the protest for George Floyd. Now, the reason I have to interject is because about an hour and a half or so after I recorded that, I recorded between 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m. The peaceful protest, there was a subgroup of individuals that brought a riot to the police precinct that was in the area, did some vandalism, and unfortunately, I believe it tainted an otherwise peaceful protest, showing a very, very diverse and a very large group of people that were together in support of and showing solidarity towards justice for this incident. Now, something that I want to address really quick, and then I'll get back to that video. This is going to be a pretty short one. Is the demographics between previous protests that I've documented outside the governor's mansion over here in St. Paul, and then the protest that happened on 38th in Chicago and Uptown. Now, yeah, this is Coronavirus Diaries. The idea of this whole entire channel was to document, kind of the happenings through this pandemic. And, granted, 2 months ago, based on data and the information that was being provided at the time, there was a perception of the potential of what was going to happen. Now it's not even close to what those numbers and figures, the severity, not downplaying the severity, but the reason I decided that I needed to share this is because, one, there are people that are still using their voices in the midst of a pandemic. And if you just look at the different demographics, right, there's one group of people that are using their voice to protest tyranny, government overreach, taking away rights, liberties, freedoms, constitutional, rights being violated, and yet the same type of a protest is happening in another area. Now, if you look at the different protests, you'll see that in one of the groups of people, there are no masks by and large, and there's people walking around with guns, and these people are exercising their constitutional rights. Here in the state of Minnesota, it is a law that you're allowed to open carry like that. But that was specifically for this tyranny regarding the lockdowns. Now, fast forward a few weeks, and this George Floyd incident, based on the information that is available currently, it would appear as if an unarmed and subdued black male is being slowly executed, and it's a disturbing video to say the least. Now, you would think that the latter would be the one that would constitute people bringing out firearms in that, and it was just an interesting dynamic and something that I wanted to shine a light on, in that there was a massive group that came together, showed solidarity. There were no firearms involved, and the majority of people were wearing masks in the areas that I was at. I actually didn't want to go down into the middle because I still believe that, by me wearing a mask and practicing social distancing, I'm helping to curb the spread. Now, eventually, I'm sure I'll get it, or maybe I already have, and it's not anything that I'm necessarily worried about myself, but it's just, I'm choosing to practice social distancing and wear a mask to avoid the potential of spreading to people that it may impact. So that was ultimately it, is that, up until the time of that recording, peaceful people, were wearing masks, and it was just two different groups. One was very, very diverse and a large group of people. Now, really briefly, and then I'll go back to the other protest video and cap this thing off. I wore a shirt, you'll notice in the video, that had an American flag on it, and I did that intentionally. Many years ago, I served, and I saw the flag, and I still see the flag as a beacon of what a united country should be. It's the stars and the stripes, right? Now, some people will use it as a symbol to drive an agenda. But I received some a little bit of hazing when I showed up at this protest. Somebody basically looked right at me and said that my shirt was wildly inappropriate to be participating in this protest, where I thought it was the epitome of why I was participating, is being united. And it's unfortunate. I defended that flag, and I served in order to allow people to do exactly what was happening, which was protest peacefully. But yeah, it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. American flags for people in the States, is it really wildly inappropriate to brandish a flag of any kind during a protest where it was a protest of systematic failures in an institution of sorts? So I'm not going to go too far into all that, but it is significant times that we are living in right now, and it's compounded with a pandemic, and I think becoming united is more important than ever right now. And I'll leave it at that. So back to the video. Pretty epic though. Thousands of people. I'd be willing to bet 3, 4, maybe even 5,000 people, probably more than that, over the course of the afternoon, evening. I was only there for about 45 minutes and decided it was time to go, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, I'll keep bringing some of these videos to you guys. We're reducing the number and amount weekly, just because the landscape of everything that's happening is changing, and we're just kind of rolling with the flow. And there are some other projects that we're pouring our energies and our efforts, logistics into. So stuff will keep coming on this channel, maybe not quite as much, but stick around, and yeah, it'd be interesting to hear what you guys think. Back to the rest of the video. In uptown Minnesota, Minneapolis, showing respect and support in lieu of recent events. There was a murder of an unarmed black man by basically 4 police officers, had them subdued. The reason that I want to talk about this for this channel is, if you look around, 1, most everybody's got a mask on, and 2, I'm not seeing anybody walking around with guns. So for anybody that has seen the other videos that I've done of the documentation of the protests happening at the governor's mansion, this is significantly different. A lot of diversity, the America that I want to be in, and everybody's just chilling. You're not hearing everybody screaming at cars going by. This is totally different. It's a short video. I would go all up in that mix, but I mean, I still believe the Rona is real, and I'm just trying to do my part to reduce the spread. But this is significant. I don't know. This is thousands of people. There's pretty much every news channel is got a chopper flying around overhead. There's even little Cessnas that are circling the area, so this is pretty significant. Yeah, I was gonna do a live stream, but there's so many people here that the bandwidth in the cell towers, it can't support it, so I can't do a live stream right now. Yeah. The choppers, they're just going around. This stretches for blocks and blocks and blocks. So again, for those of you that saw the videos that I did outside the governor's mansion in St. Paul, forget about it. That's nothing compared to what's going on here. I couldn't even get within 4 or 5 blocks of where I'm at now. That's 3 blocks over there to kind of where the center is, and it gets progressively more and more thick. You look over behind me here, and it's like that for probably a couple blocks through the stoplight. So for the most part, traffic's not even going through. It's like, look at that. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. It's all the channels, man. Minnesota represent. Get it.